The African National Congress is gearing up for its January 8 anniversary celebrations this coming Saturday, and that's taking place in Polokwane in Limpopo. The January 8 statement comes at a time when the ANC is still smarting after a poor performance in the recent local government elections. eNCA explores the state of the ruling party as it turns 110 years old. Let's start that then with reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones, who is following the ANC president as he engages with traditional leaders and faith-based organizations in Limpopo. Pule joins me now for an update from Limpopo. And Pule, we've just had a briefing by the ANC leadership about the plans for Saturday for the celebrations of 110 years since the founding of the ANC. What are the big takeouts from that briefing led by Nomvula Mokonyane?
Yeah, and of course the party says this is a big achievement for themselves, having come this far and reaching their 110th anniversary, which will of course be celebrated this Saturday. But of course ANC member there, Nomvula Mokonyane, saying the party has prepared enough for this event and that it will be adhering to strict COVID-19 protocols, emphasizing that only 2,000 members or party members will be allowed for the viewing and to come in to the stadium, and that they have reassured to the public, saying that they will be adhering with the national health protocols, ensuring that they respect every regulation that will be in place. But we also do understand that the party goes into this anniversary with the absence of their two secretariats, of course, including the Deputy Secretary General, and of course the suspended ANC Secretary General, Esmachashule. Nomvula Mokonyane has made it quite clear that while that's the case, the party has not been deeply affected, saying they're doing all they can with the available top four to arrange for this event to happen. But the crucial part as well being the issue of financial woes the party has been encountering throughout the entire last year in 2021. You remember, Tulas, just on the 109th January 8 statements, the party, one of the objectives, made it clear that they would actually embark on transparent and quite a better fund-raising policies, which would ensure that it isn't burdened financially. But fast forward to this year, that hasn't been the case. The party, however, says it has put in quite great measures to ensure that this event can be successfully prepared. And while that's the case, they also reassured the public that they're not outsourcing any other services, but those staffers who've actually been disgruntled as well and haven't been paid will be part of this event, helping out as well.
I imagine, Pule, that the conversation around the performance of the ANC in the November local government elections is not far from, any conversation really in the build-up to January 8, and I do expect that even as they prepare the statement, if they are to be honest with themselves, they will reflect honestly about some of the factors that were at play in that performance. What is the ANC saying, particularly about its poor performance in November?
Well, Tulas, for now, the ANC has remained mum on that matter and saying that this, of course, will be some of the discussions that will be taking place during the NEC meeting that's expected to take place today before outlining some of these problems that they had encountered last year onto the January 8 statements, which will be prepared for the Saturday. But, let's look at back again. You'd remember on that 109th January statement where the ANC's objectives as well was to actually perform very well during the local government elections, and of course to strengthen their alliance partners and structures as well, and convene conferences before the beginning of 2022. Those are some of the objectives that haven't primarily been achieved, as most conferences such as the ANC Women's League, the ANC Youth League haven't been convened. Those are the challenges the party is still facing. But quite more again, the party did not perform quite well in the local government elections, losing some of those key metros, including the city of Tshwane, city of Johannesburg, and of course Ekurhuleni as well. And while that's the case, the party has said that they will be reflecting on some of their challenges, and we do understand that yesterday we were with the Deputy President, who acknowledged that they were in limbo and that they would have to go back to the people and try and rectify themselves. Now, what we do understand is that after this January 8th event, the party will then deploy some of their NEC members to different provinces to engage and educate ANC party members about their statement, the objectives, and what is it that they will try to achieve just before the national elections.
And the last aspect that I want to tease out with you, Pule, around the finances of the ANC, another elephant in the room, difficult to ignore. I mean, they can be in Polokwane preparing for an event with 2,000 people, but, you know, until recently, their workers had not been paid for several months, and, you know, the extent to which they've been paid even now is still debatable, whether they've received all that was outstanding and due to them, but also importantly, payments of benefits that they are entitled to and what is due to the tax office, SARS, for example.
You know, the party is so vague around that issue. And as it is right now during this briefing, NEC member Nomvula Mkonyane actually said that they didn't turn a blind eye to this issue, and that they were looking to try and find hands with ANC staffers as to how they can forge a way forward and helping them. But there's still elements and events that are taking place which will cost, you know, if not hundreds of thousands, but millions, such as the gala dinner that will be taking place. If you mention the outsourcing of the stages, the speakers, and every other resource that will be used for this event that will be pumped in, those are the questions that still haven't been quite outlined by the party. And I can tell you now, when I spoke to some of the ANC staffers, while they are of the view that they can still help the party, they're still quite upset that, you know, their priorities and livelihoods have been affected and have not been attended to by the party. And these are the dynamics. This is the very same NEC member who addressed us just 2 months ago at the St. George Hotel in Pretoria, Ms. Nomvula Mkonyane, saying they would have met with some of the ANC senior members to try and find a way to help the staffers and ensure that they pay out all their salaries. Fast forward to January, there still isn't enough to actually pay the staffers. And this is a quite issue. This is a very bad issue that has affected the staffers as well. And we also know that there are also other challenges that they will be looking to achieve and ensure that they can try and resolve. So this will be a key January 8 statements to see how the party moves forward from some of their challenges that have encountered in the past year.